Had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah, girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Yeah, let 'em in. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah, girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Yeah, let 'em in. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody
All right, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Thursday evening to you, broadcasting from the B-Level Entertainment Studios. I'm your host, B-Level. Tonight. It is Thursday night. Normally we would do this on a Wednesday night, but we are talking to Mr. JD Lipscomb on a Thursday night. So you might not be used to seeing us on Thursday night, but tonight it is on the level with B-Level, where I have extraordinary conversation with extraordinary people. And tonight I've got an extraordinary person in the studio. But I do need to tell you that before we bring Mr. JD up, I have a couple announcements that I want to talk about. Again, every Wednesday we do this thing on the level with B-Level. Next Wednesday at 7:30, we are talking to Director Ken Richardson of the Little Rock City Board Director. He hasn't been on the city board for almost some months. And next Wednesday at 7:30, we're going to talk to him. And then the following Wednesday of the month, which is April 29th, we're going to talk to Mr. Haywood King, okay? Don't forget that every Wednesday night we have conversation with different people around the state of Arkansas that are doing their great thing. All right? Another thing I need to tell you about is I am looking for a co-host for the brand new UTB Sports that we're launching right here. UTB is getting ready to launch a sports podcast. So if you know sports, let me put my face up here. If you know sports and you want to get into the podcast industry, inbox me. Send me an email at utbpodcastlr@gmail.com. I feel like I already got one person, but if you're interested in sports, let your boy know. All right. Last but not least, don't forget, we are doing this Tamala McElroy Hair Invasion 2026 that's happening June 7th at the West Wind, okay? If you are wanting to be, if you are a vendor, a hairstylist, a barber, a stylist, anybody that wants to be involved in this dynamic hair show that I am going to be hosting, all you have to do is go to Facebook and look up Tamala McElroy and inbox her, and she will tell you how to get involved. And last but not least, we have Tristan Hobbs, who is on our Sunday crew. He is highlighting local businesses that are doing their thing. So if you are a local business and you want free advertisement, holler at my boy Tristan Hobbs, or send an email to utbpodcastlr@gmail.com. You need to tell us your name, your address, how long you've been in business, and why we should pick you to highlight your business. We are sewing in our community and sewing for local businesses, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and take this off and bring my guest up front and introduce him. I want to welcome to the podcast my guy, my friend, Mr. JD Lipscomb. How you doing, JD?
I'm doing great.
Hey, listen, man, I'll tell you this, JD. I have started this on the level with B-Level almost a year now. And when I started this conversation on Wednesdays, now we do our regular Sunday night show, but I broke off and I'd done something on Wednesday where I wanted to interview great people that are doing great things. Extraordinary people is what I say, that are doing extraordinary things. And so when I started this segment, I had people in mind like you. I'm going to tell your story. Normally, we normally go about an hour, but I want you to set your clocks. We're going to go a little bit hour because this man has a great story. He has been in business for over 44 years, and I think that is unheard of. And so I wanted you to come on, JD. I've been trying to get you on. Our schedules have not matched. But I do want to welcome you to the podcast and saying thank you for coming and telling us your story. Welcome to the podcast, JD.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'm going to start off by doing an opening statement, and then we're going to get into our conversations with JD. And keep in mind, if you're watching it, please share this live. And if you have a question that you want me to ask Mr. JD, put it in our chat. And at the end of the comments, at the end of our conversation, if I see a question that's very relevant, I will ask Mr. JD. But I need everybody to share, and then put shared in a comment so I can shout you out. Let me do my opening statement, then we're going to come back and we're going to talk to Mr. JD. All right, here we go. Tonight on the Unpacking the Baggage podcast, we're sitting down with a man whose name is stamped all over the nightlife history in Arkansas. When you talk about longevity in an industry where most nightclubs don't even survive 2 years of business, this man has been standing, building, and evolving for over 44 years. We're talking about the man behind legendary spots like the 50-yard line in North Little Rock, a place that wasn't just a club, it was an urban nightlife experience in the state. From there to elevations and beyond, he didn't just open doors, he created moments, memories, and a culture. They call him the godfather of the nightlife industry. And tonight, we're not just talking about the lights, the music, the parties. We're unpacking the pressure, the pain, the setback, and the sacrifices it takes to stay on top of the game that's designed to break you. This isn't just about nightlife. This is about legacy. So tonight, I want to welcome again On the Level with B Level with Mr. JD Lipscomb. All right, JD, what you think about that introduction, bro?
Oh, fantastic. I said, you talking about me?
All right, JD. So everybody has been hitting me. Everybody has known you. Anybody that has went to the nightclub starting back in 1977 up to just as recently as how long ago did you sell?
21.
So 77 to 2021 have heard of JD Lipscomb. But I want to start off by JD going back, and I want you to give us a rundown of the clubs that you've owned, the years that you've owned it, so people will understand the impact that you have had on the nightlife industry. So where did this nightclub business start for you back in 77?
Okay, January 77, we started out just with pool tables. We had a private club charter with a beer license. We hadn't got the liquor license yet, but I had 4 pool tables.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much how I started out with those. Back in those days, pool was one of the biggest things out there. And with the license I had, I could stay open 23 hours a day back then.
23 hours.
23 hours a day. All you had to do is close 1 hour a day. But they played pool like that. And at the time I started in business, I was working for Remington Arms.
Okay, so you had a full 9 to 5 at Remington.
I had a full 9 to 5.
But you had a pool hall as well.
I had a pool hall.
Okay.
And I had, my brother was in business and Alvis Hopper was in it. It was 3 of us. And it took quite a while to get off the ground because couldn't find nobody to go in business because they didn't have money. And I had 2 of my partners, and when it was time to go to the bank to open up the pool room, they bagged out at the last minute because they didn't have the money. So I had an older brother that I talked to him. He didn't have the money, but he had he had a car that it was paid for, so he was able to borrow money on the car.
Okay.
And he had a neighbor that worked for the railroad that had no money. So every 2 weeks he would bring money to bring his part. We started with $1,400 a piece.
Okay. And $2,800.
Yeah, 1,400. All 3 of us had to have $1,400
$1,400
a piece.
Okay.
And we started with 4 pool tables.
All right, so that was back long time ago. So talk about the clubs that you've owned. You started off with, was it the Cameo? It was 50-yard line you started with?
50-yard line.
Okay, that's
50-yard line was really my favorite. It stayed open from 1977 to 91.
Okay.
1981.
All right.
And the second club I had was Cameo.
Okay, in the same spot.
Same spot.
Okay.
And it was in 91.
Okay. You opened that one from 91 to 98?
98.
All right, and you talked about 50-yard line was your favorite. Why was it your favorite nightclub, Jay? Why do you pick 50-yard line as being your favorite?
A 50-yard line, like I said, it was my favorite. And it was like I had to create what I had. We started with the 4 pool tables. All 4 of us worked.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't pay ourselves.
Okay.
We didn't pay ourselves. We worked. We had a job. All of us kept our job.
Okay.
I worked for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I saved a year's salary. And when I turned in my notice at the job, you know, it wasn't easy to walk out and leave. I had a really, really good job. I was a coordinator for Remington Arms, and I had a really great job back then, but I wanted to be in business. So, but anyway, I worked the whole year and saved the year's salary. And reason I saved the year's salary, I wanted to be sure that if this didn't work, I had money.
So you had a 9 to 5, but you save your year's salary. Okay, so what did you live off, JD, if you saved your work salary?
Okay.
What did you live on?
My wife worked. she had.
So JD, you lived on your wife?
No, not really.
Okay.
Like I said, I played pool. Pool was my second job. Everybody back then had two jobs.
They had a hustle. They had
two jobs, a hustle like I did.
Okay.
And but I was able to save a year's salary. The salary was like $8,900. That might not seem much, but that was a lot of money
back then.
Right. I think the minimum wage back then was probably $2.25. And I was making like $8.50 an hour.
Okay.
Because I was a coordinator. I ran 3 shifts.
Okay.
But anyway, we saved a year's salary and I quit. Actually, I saved a little more. My wife got on. She said I was going to kill myself if I didn't quit working.
Okay.
So basically, what I did, I stopped working, and we saved all our money. We started all the money that we made. We put it up. I know because I took it home and kept the money till it got big enough to go to the bank.
Okay.
And that's how we got off the ground. When we ended up getting our license, getting our liquor license, this is when we really caught off.
So before it was a BYOB. You was letting people bring their own. Was it a BYOB?
Yeah, you could bring your own.
Okay.
And you could bring your own. We could sell beer. We sold food. We did have a kitchen.
Okay.
And the one thing that set us apart from everybody else, back then, if you didn't have a band, people wouldn't come.
Okay.
But we come in right on the edge of disco.
Okay.
We started disco.
Okay.
No band. No band.
Which is when you say disco, you're talking about DJ?
You're talking about a DJ. Yes.
Okay.
DJ.
Okay.
Where they spin the records.
Right. Okay.
And we did that. And everybody, we was in North Little Rock too. Everybody said you weren't gonna make it in North Little Rock, and you definitely weren't gonna make it talking about a DJ. Nobody want to hear a DJ.
So let me ask you this, JD. When you started 50-yard line, did it hit right on? Did it take y'all being in? Did y'all have to struggle? The first night y'all opened, did y'all open your doors and floods of people have come? So how did it start? How did 50-yard line? Because back when I knew 50-yard line, it was already the shit then.
Yeah.
So did it start right off, or did you have to build it, JD?
Day one it started. Listen, I worked at the Remington. It was 1,100 people worked there.
Okay.
Everybody in that building knew me, black or white.
In Remington?
At Remington.
Okay.
And I named the club the 50-yard line for one reason. I was a football star in high school, so people related to that.
Football, sports.
Yeah.
Okay.
People that went to Horseman knew who I was. People went to Jones where I went to school knew who I was. And those people, we hit from day one. And people from Remington, black or white, they came every Friday and Saturday night. Sold out. We could hold 1,000 people. They were there. I'm talking right off the top.
From the get-go.
Now, once we started getting local people come, a lot of the people that worked with me kind of bagged off.
Right.
But it was like a Remington party every week when I started off until it grew.
Okay.
But we never had a problem in getting people at the 50-yard line. It grew.
Now, back when you had the 50-yard line, that was back in 77. So I ain't trying to tell my age, JD, but I was old enough to go to the club in 77, right?
No, you couldn't have been.
70? No, I wasn't. No, I'm lying. That's I'll be too damn old. I went on the 8 then. Okay. Not 77, but let me see. One of these.
You started in the 90s.
I started at the Cameo. Not okay, because you opened Cameo in 91.
Yeah, 91.
Okay. All right, but I still want to start with 50-yard lines. 50-yard line is where you guys started these. Our 50-yard line is where you guys started the famous contest that everybody know. If you were in Little Rock and you lived in Little Rock, North Little Rock, any of the surrounding area, you heard about this famous contest that you had called the Pop That Coochie contest that they trying to get hold to you, ain't they?
Yeah.
I dropped. It'll just go off.
It'll go.
All right. So you started back in your 50-yard line. Is that where you started to Pop That Coochie, or was that at a Cameo?
No, we started the lip sync in 1983.
So the lip sync started first.
Yeah. Now, believe it or not, the lip sync was bigger than the Pop That Coochie. Pop That Coochie didn't start until 92.
Okay.
But lip sync started in 83. And I don't know if nothing I ever did was bigger than the lip sync. It was so big, we did it 2 nights.
So what nights was the lip sync contest on?
The lip sync was on
Friday?
No, Thursdays
Okay.
and Saturdays.
Thursdays and Saturdays.
The Pop the Coochie was on a Friday.
Okay. Because that's when I got involved when the Pop That Coochie came around. And for those of you guys who have not experienced what the Pop That Coochie contest, oh my goodness, it was like the tip drill video. Back Nelly had the tip drill. And we don't have any video of the pop. I mean, there was a lot of things going on Fridays, but let's talk about Thursdays and Saturdays where you kind of got your signature, because when I came along, the lip sync contest was a signature thing for the Cameo. Not that you started lip sync, but that's kind of what a lot of people knew your club from, right?
Yeah.
The famous lip sync contest.
Yes.
And how long did you do lip sync? How many years did you run the lip sync contest?
We did the lip syncs from 83 all the way over until we was at Elevations. We even did it in Elevation, but it peaked in the 90s.
So would you say the lip sync, you ran it for what, 20 years?
Okay, 83, yeah, about 20 years we did.
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what you would do is you would do a weekly and then you would do a finals, right?
Yeah, right.
So the first 3 weeks of the month would be the weekly lip syncs, correct?
No, we do 4 weeks.
Okay.
If you came in first or second place during those 4 weeks, it's 8 people. On the 5th week, we did the championship, which was $1,000.
Okay, so you get more. All right. Now, before we go away, I do want to give people some content. I was able to get with shout out to Dr. Feelgood, because when I knew that I was talking to you, I wanted to find some video back from the lip sync. Now, this video that I'm about to show you was this the Cameo days I'm getting ready to show them, JD?
Yeah, that was Cameo.
All right, so this was a long time ago, and keep in mind, we got social media, we got better cameras, but you can get a feel of what happened back in the Cameo days, which was these people were famous with the lip sync. All right, and this was Arkansas versus Houston. Is this what this was?
True.
All right, so I'm going to show you the Arkansas, and it's only 1 minute and 30, so I cut it all the way down, but I wanted to give you a really good taste of what the lip sync was back in Club Cameo. Here it is. Was that what's his name? Keith?
Keith.
Okay.
Keith Jenkins, yeah.
It's going to be a long night in his house. Video screen.
That's who you need to interview too, Leo.
Leo. And this guy was from Houston, correct?
Yeah, he's from Houston. See, they don't play that kind of music now.
No. All right, so JD, that was back in the Cameo days. Now I want to bring you forward to the Elevation days, because you mentioned that you were still doing lip sync when you got to Little Rock. For those of you who are just tuning in, we're talking to JD Lipscomb, the godfather of nightclub business. We're starting the Cameo, and I'm gonna work you guys we're starting off at the 50-yard line. I'm gonna bring you guys all the way up to Elevations. And all the way up to Envy as well. But this is when you move to Little Rock, and we're going to talk about your transition. But here we've got Brenda. What is her name?
Brenda Woods.
Brenda Woods, who I thought was the queen of lip sync. She won a many a nights down there, JD.
Yes, she did.
And then I think this other young lady was Miss Kitty. And let me just tell you something. Everybody was in love with Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty was a fine mama jamma, JD. So let me go do that, and we'll come back and we'll talk. Here's Brenda Woods and Miss Kitty. This is at Elevation. It's a little delayed, y'all. That's Miss Kitty there.
Yeah. Night we couldn't get everybody in. There'd be 3 people outside.
Turning them away. A lot of people
away, but they couldn't get in. And we could hold 1,000 people there.
So JD, that's what you think contest was what set you apart from a lot of the other clubs back in the day.
Contest was it. We had some kind of contest weekly. Along, you know.
How did you come up with the idea of the lip sync, the pop that coochie? How did you come up with those two promotions, or what we call contests?
Lip sync I used to see this this show on TV. I can't remember the name of it. It came on every week.
Okay.
It was like a lip sync, and they didn't call it a lip sync contest. It was a show.
Okay.
Where they lip sync.
But it was them mimicking the artist, them act like they were singing it.
Doing exactly what they were doing. So I put it into a contest, a cash contest. And one of the things, my place was huge. You couldn't just open it and say, "Hey, y'all come out."
It was too big.
It was too big.
You had to have
something to
going on
to get them there. And like I said, when I started, the bands was going on. Everybody had bands when I first started.
Okay.
The band was on their way out. The DJs was coming in, and people fought against it. And how I picked up on it, I went to Kansas City in '96. That was the year before I opened.
Okay.
And I was going to do bands, but the club there, they had the DJ on the bar. The bartender had 2 turntables.
Okay.
He mixed drinks and he had those 2 turntables.
And he played the music.
He played the music and they mixed the drinks. And the place was bigger than mine, and it was jam packed. And they was playing all the stuff that they play on the radio, but you didn't get that with the bands.
Because they didn't sing that.
They didn't sing that. So I told me right then, when I went back to Little Rock, I said, I'm doing DJ.
Okay, well, let's talk about when you left, because we're talking about your promotions. But at one point in time, back at the end of the run, something happened in North Little Rock called eminent domain. And for the people that don't know what eminent domain is, I'm going to put the definition of eminent domain. Okay, eminent domain is the power of the state and local government to seize private property for public use, providing that they offer the owner just compensation, which is fair market value. Example include taking the land for a highway, a school, a park, public utility known as coordination, the power limited by the Fifth Amendment. Now, the public use rights requirements, the public must serve a public purpose such as construction road, bridges, public buildings, and all of the things that the city felt like it needed. So at some point in time, they were going to come up with now is the Verizon Arena. It was named the Alltel Arena. You were right behind where the Alltel Arena is now. Jackson Cookies was on one side. Cameo and the 50-yard line was on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
At some point in time, we need to start on, they felt like they needed to build the Alltel Arena. So you get wind that they were going to basically take the club for eminent domain, correct?
Correct.
But at that point in time, you was just leasing. You didn't own the building.
True.
So when they took the building, do you remember when the city took it from you for the Alltel Arena? Do you remember what year it was?
Yeah, March of '98.
Okay, so before that, you get wind that that this was coming, and you had a relationship with the landlord, right?
Yes.
You guys burned down in 1 year. What year did you guys?
We burned down in '84 and rebuilt. And
so when you guys rebuilt, the owner who was leasing the building to you, you actually spent more money than the owner did to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes. I spent $260,000 to rebuild. She spent $40,000.
Okay.
But that was the only way I was going to get back in business. And I know what I had there. So I had to gamble that I was going to make my money back.
And at some point in time, this eminent domain come, which you figure they're going to take the building. What did they offer you guys at first for your business?
Well, they offered $170,000.
Okay.
And well, before we get to the $170,000, when we got a window they were going to buy it, I had to get with my landlord and told her I had to buy it and explain to her why. And when she heard what I said, she sold me the bill. She had the bill in the price and had me to pay what the appraisal was, which was $170,000. And that's what we did. We paid her $40,000, and we took over the building, waiting on Alltel Arena to come.
Because you knew they were coming.
Yes.
So when they come, how many years later from the fire? How long later how many years did you get before they came for eminent domain?
They came in '97. They came in
9. So 9 years after you had a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they come and say your building is only. How did they come up with $171,000 to give you, Jay?
Well, what they did is when I heard that they was going to do it, I went and bought the building for $170,000. So when they found out that's what it was, that's all they offered.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
But you had more than $170,000 in it because you had put.
I had put $260,000 in that building plus the $40,000 that she put in it.
So you ended up in a lawsuit with the city of Little Rock,
right? You
took them to court. You beat them.
Yeah, I beat them in court
because they only wanted to offer you
what I paid for it.
And your deal, your legal term was that even though I paid $170,000, I still had more invested in the business.
Mm-hmm.
You valued the business more than $170,000 that they were going to give you, right?
True.
You took it to court. Didn't you say that the judge ruled in the favor of the city?
No.
And then okay.
No. When we first went, the judge ruled that's all we were going to get.
Okay.
And they gave us the building. They told them we could sell take somebody if they wanted to break it down and use the part. They said we could do that. We didn't know nobody to do that. But anyway, we were still there, but they gave the rights to the arena.
Okay.
And this was a year, probably almost a year before we actually moved.
Okay.
But we went to court, and not only it was a tire company went to court and won before we got to the court.
Because legally they couldn't tell you what your business is worth. They could tell you basically because you paid $170,000, you still had more in it.
Yeah.
Than the $170,000.
Well, they could tell you with eminent domain.
Okay.
But what you have to do is prove to them it's worth more. And the tire company that won, they told them what their property was worth and won. So that kind of helped us out.
Okay.
But they came and told us how they won. And how they won is that the city and the state cut our taxes 10 years earlier. They cut all our taxes. Payless Shoes, Kmart, Walmart,
All those businesses
Taco
that was
Bell,
over there. Right.
all of them buildings, the Kroger's, all of them, they lowered our taxes. If you're a taxpayer, you happy. Hey, I don't have to pay all these taxes. But we don't know what's coming. But they made your property worth less. And what we did is we went to court, and my attorney explained all of this. And what the judge did is rule in our favor.
That it was worth more.
It was worth more.
So they had to pay you.
They paid us another $95,000. And it's
So that's what, $260,000?
Yeah. Well, we didn't get our business was worth $1 million. We knew we weren't gonna get that. But anyway, they gave us $95,000. The federal government gave us $10,000.
Okay.
So that was $105,000 more plus the 170. 170. So we had to take that and go and leave with that.
Okay. So you win a lawsuit. So at some point in time, you go and you manage, which I really don't want to talk a lot about the manage come. I want to talk about how you were able to get over, because you were in North Little Rock, and then we look up and JD is back in Little Rock. So tell me how this Little Rock purchase went, which it started off as Elevations.
Yeah. Well, the first thing we did, the people from Checkmate Club, they had closed, and somebody else bought it new that didn't know how to run it. So they asked me and my partner, me and Frank, to run it for them. We ran that for 6 or 8 months.
Okay.
And I didn't own that, but I did run it.
Okay.
And it was a large club, and it sold out with the lip sync and
did the same thing.
Did the
same
same thing.
Signature things.
Yeah, same thing with Cameo.
Okay.
What Cameo did. And we found a new location. Well, we found 3 locations. Every location that I tried to get, the ABC and the state blocked me because they was hot about the lawsuit.
So you had beat them, so they did not want to let you back in the club business. So
and I kept trying to tell my attorney, and he said, he was always bragging about how much tax that I paid and what kind of thing. I said, yeah, but they still blocking me. But I went to 3 locations, great locations, and they blocked me when they saw who
and when
I
you
was.
say they, are you talking about the state?
And the ABC.
The ABC. Okay.
And they blocked all the places where we get. So basically what I did, I had bought the Checkmate's private club license.
Okay.
And I didn't use my license anymore.
So you had a Elevation license, but you didn't apply with that because you knew that license will follow your name.
Follow my name, and
so you purchased another licensed charter from another club. And did you go in there with that, or did you send somebody else to do it?
I sent 2 of my friends to do it. And I guess they don't mind me saying, but Marcella Wilson.
Okay. And which we knew Marcella.
Yeah, Robert Pruitt. We got them to be the officers. They applied with the Checkmate, and I got approved.
Okay.
Basically, when I got approved, I had, oh my God, we had spent another $200,000 remodeling the place. ABC approved me. We were going to get open once we get through remodeling. And during that time, they came and said, "Oh no, you owe $112,000 in taxes
and back taxes,
back taxes." And what we know we didn't.
And you argue up and down. You raise the fit. I don't owe no 120.
No, I don't owe any money. I explained to them that we bought the charter, which wiped the taxes out. And they said, "Oh no!" And my attorney got several different cases showing that's what happened. They didn't care. They kind of blocked me.
So you finally. They say you owe 120. Do you have to pay the 120,000 to get in the back taxes that they say you owe because they're trying to block you?
Well, they made me a couple of offers. They went to 80.
Okay.
Then they went to 70.
Okay.
And I told them absolutely not.
You weren't paying it.
I wasn't gonna pay it. And so basically they came with their last offer and said $20,800 a month, every 15 a month. If you're ever late, you're out of business. So I had to pay the $20,000.
Even though you didn't owe it.
Even though I didn't owe it. But look where I am now, though.
You ate the 20,000.
We ate the 20,000. We had to pay $800 a month to pay 20,000 that we didn't owe. But that got us open. That's all we needed to get open.
Wow. So JD, let's talk businesses and practices, right? For someone to be in the business 44 years, What was the special sauce to you being able to last that long?
Well, basically finance, how you do your money, and how you do your taxes. You basically, you can't, a lot of people, they will live off of the money before they, for the club. That was one thing that I never did. The club was different. The club was going to be taken care of no matter what. I was going to always have money there to survive. Then you get there. And I was always good with money. My strong point was finance. And I was able to have partners. I had great partners.
So
And
finances was something important, which means when you made the money in the club business, you didn't spend it.
you didn't spend it. I kept it in the club. And when we got to the point where we had a payroll account. We put money in. Sometimes we would go on a year don't get paid. We'll put the money into the payroll account. We put the money in the other account. And what helped us come along is we end up, a lot of the banks end up with black managers. Used to be where you couldn't get any money from the bank.
Okay.
But I had a money line. They gave me a money line, and they gave me credit. They gave me credit. But most clubs couldn't get it because you had to have a good credit rating to get money and being a club owner.
Right.
But the times changed where I could go into the bank and get whatever, a money line, and you just pick them up and say, hey, I need $100,000. They'll put it in your account. And you didn't have to pay on that loan if you didn't want to. You could just pay the interest. And then when you get ready to pay some money on the loan, then you pay the loan. You weren't able to get that when I started out, but I was able to get all those things with the credit rating that the club had, the credit rating I had. And you had to keep up with your taxes too. I got audited twice. The state owed me money. They gave me a credit, what I didn't have to pay for sometime for 7-8 months because I already overpaid in taxes.
So Jay, there was a lot of different clubs that would pop up during the time that you were in business. You had the nightlife, that was a fad. You had the club out in Wrightsville came, that it was slow for a little time there. You had some of the clubs that was in the city. When they came, did you know that they would always come back? So other clubs of new clubs would pop up. They be packed. Nobody's at JD's club because there were some slow times in your 44 years.
Oh yeah, most clubs open up, they're gonna hurt you. They might hurt you. You always come back, but my club was completely different. I was the only club did membership cards.
Okay.
All those supposed to do membership cards, but I was the only
private club.
All those was private, but
Okay.
the only one, my club was the only one actually really ran private because I had the membership cards.
Okay.
And those meant something. And those cards, you always save money when you came
with the membership
with the
card.
Membership card.
So you would charge them for the membership card?
Okay, if you didn't have a card, you had to pay $15.
Okay.
You get a card for that extra $5.
And an entry. And you get in and the card.
Once you get that card, you never pay the $15 anymore. For a year. You had to renew it every year.
So they got a discount when they came back.
They got a discount every time they came. And we had a very popular door. A lot of people didn't really know what a VIP door was until I came along. And we had a VIP door where no waiting. And you paid even more money. If it was $10 over there or $15 over there, you could get in for $20. You didn't have to wait. But if you notice, when you came to my club, who did you see? Me.
You or Frank?
Me or Frank. And when Jake was there, you see me, Jake, Frank,
right?
Matt. One of them. We made sure that the money that we made got to the office. If your money get to the office, that you make it. If you making money, you're not gonna fall. You never.
So basically, you always had an owner at the door. Somebody that was vested in the business.
Had to pay the bills, and somebody wanted to get a check on a Monday, got the money. So, and that was our philosophy. How we would do it: try to get the money to the
back door, to the back office.
And one of the main things, a lot of people say, "Why you work so hard? You always on the VIP." Then the VIP was a headache. Right. It really was. But I found out that if I work that VIP door and I get all that money to that office, no matter what happened behind the bar, no matter what happened on the door, I wasn't going to be a failure in the club business. And it always worked out because I got the money to to the office. We was always being able to do whatever we needed to do financially. And, you know, we didn't even worry about the new clubs. I said, well, they'll do a couple of months or whatever. They'll be back. And most of those clubs that opened, they was 2:00 club. They were gonna make it there anyway about 2:15.
So after they leave these new clubs, a lot of clubs wasn't 5 a.m.
No,
clubs. They were going to end up at your place
They were
anyway.
going to end up there anyways.
What, JD, if you've been in business for 44 years, what mistake, or not even what mistake, if you had to start all over again, what would you not do? What mistake would you take out of maybe a promotion that you tried, or a purchase that give me something you would do different had you started now that you saw?
If I started now, the first thing I'd do would buy my building.
So you didn't own the building at first?
You didn't own it. If you had the money, buy the building.
Okay.
You know, that's the only thing I can think of if I was to go back, that I buy.
Doing ownership.
Do ownership. Try to do ownership.
What do you think, JD, is the biggest mistake that new club owners, you see them make today?
It's always finance.
Not saving the money.
It's always finance. If you're making a lot of money, you're not going anywhere. And you paying your workers, your rent, the lease, or whatever that you got to do. If you're making the money, you're not going anywhere. And if you put your money back into the business is going to take care of you.
Was advertising important to your business, Jay?
Advertising was everything. Everything.
You were one of the only club when I was at the radio station that stayed on the radio 52 weeks out of a year. You never came off the radio.
Never. The whole time I was there, I was never off the radio. I'm talking about all the way back to when I first started with the pool tables.
Mm-hmm.
I was never off the radio. But here's the kicker. If you're not doing anything to tell people to come, you just running in the radio. What other clubs do? You clubs for many years.
Right.
I always had some kind of sexy
promotion.
dress.
Yeah, some kind of promotion.
Blue dress, skinny leg, big legs.
You had something for a reason for them to come there.
Some kind of reason on the radio to tell them to come. And if you just open it up, what you wasting your money on radio?
Right.
So I always had something to tell them on my commercial that they wanted to hear. And I had, this contest after contest. Anytime that you can think of it, they said, well, JD, you had that contest. I had a lookalike contest ran for 5 years. But I would pick a person on TV, put up a poster, and give you $300 if you look like this person. And on a Friday night.
So what people back in the day used to call gimmick. You always had a gimmick.
Some kind of gimmick that I had. And I learned that early in life. When I first opened, the Budweiser company had the owner named Mr. Bray. He sold Budweiser.
Okay.
Black people drunk Miller Lite when I opened up. They wouldn't drink nothing but Miller Lite.
They wasn't drinking Budweiser.
No,
Bush.
He had Budweiser. I'm telling you
Michelob. Okay.
Tell you what he did. He got Joe Frazier, brought him over there in a bus. He gave
boxer Joe Frazier?
The boxer Joe Frazier. And this is like 79. They brought him over there in a bus. He gave me 50 cases of Budweiser, the little bitty ponies.
Yeah.
He told me to sell them for $25. I could have all the money. And he gonna buy the advertising on the radio and tell them Joe Frazier's gonna be at the 50-yard line on a Wednesday night.
Okay.
We sold the 50 cases of beer and everything else we had.
Back then, what was the regular price of beer if you were selling that for 25 cents? What did you charge, $1?
That little bitty thing, we sold it for $0.25. It wasn't a regular size.
Okay.
And a regular beer was probably like 60 cents.
Okay.
And but we probably got 1,500 people in there, and it probably another 1,000 or so outside because we had Joe Frazier there, and you had the quarter beer. That was a promotion.
Right.
That promotion taught me something right then.
What did it teach you, Jay?
Do something. Have something.
Got to have something for them to come.
That you can tell people on the radio to say, hey, look, they having this over the 50-yard line or Cameo, whichever one we were. Right. We had something to tell people what we were doing. And that was a reason to be on the radio. If I wasn't doing nothing, what am I going to be on the radio for every day?
Jay, do you feel like people party different now? Is clubbing different now than what it was back when you opened?
Yeah, club is a lot different now. And you don't have a big club like me that's promoting anything. So you don't hear anything on the radio or whatever.
Right.
And but the club is different. And most of them are smaller. And just like Gigi's over there, what Jake is,
Right.
they doing very well. They do a band, and
On Friday nights.
Yeah, on Friday nights,
Yeah.
and then on Saturdays they do a Blue Days That Blue, and I think they open on Thursdays. Aren't they open on?
Yeah, I
Thursdays?
think they are Wednesdays. They're doing way back Wednesday.
Way
They
back
open on
Wednesday.
Thursday. So now
They
they're in the
doing-
summer. They're doing longer days.
They're
Longer
doing
months.
very well. They're not doing anything that I did. But really, the small club couldn't afford to do what I did,
Right.
because I could get all of every club I had. You could get 1,000 people in there or more,
Right.
and
that's a lot of pressure to have that, many, space to put to fill 1,000 people.
Yeah, so
obviously
you have to promote. But that thing that he did told me that. And he came, Mr. Bray came and did another thing with Michael Jackson that was in Chicago.
okay.
And he did he told me to come up with a contest. He'd pay for it. Long we did a Budweiser special.
Right.
And so we did a thing with Michael Jackson in Chicago to send somebody to Chicago.
Did that help people start drinking Budweiser the more you would sell
I
that?
couldn't even
20?
sell Miller no more 6 months later.
So after you kept doing the quarter pony on Budweiser,
I didn't do them no more. I
switched-
just did them on that Wednesday night. And then we went back to the regular bit. We didn't even sell ponies. We gave them away. We got for a quarter. We sold them for a quarter. But that was part of the thing that we sold. But that was the thing to get them to try to get them off of Miller beer. And Mr. Bray did a mini contest. That's what really got me going, because he paid for my radio advertising. He paid for the contest. All I had to do was come up with a contest. He did it. But Miller Beer turned him in. They turned him in
because they're taking their business.
Taking
One of
their
the
business, so-
black #1 spot that was doing beer. How many cases was you buying from Miller at that point in time before this Budweiser came?
Bought probably 30 cases of beer.
And then it went to how many you buying? How many after the Budweiser?
Budweiser, we bought 60 to 80 cases. It took them half the day to load the beer in there. In the 90s, it took them half a day to load the beer that we bought.
So in the 90s, you were selling more beer than mixed drinks?
Oh yeah, you sold more beer than mixed drink back then, because it was cheaper.
Really?
In Nating we sold some of everything in the Nating. Nating in the black community had more money in finance than
Yes.
ever.
The 90s was a great year.
For its finance. It wasn't great really for young brothers, because many of them died. Many of them went to prison because they was involved with the rocks and stuff.
Right.
But they took care of a lot of families. I had never seen the money that I seen that was in the 90s. And it was good for the finance, but it wasn't good for what was happening to the black community. But
do you think, Jay, as it relates to just pure success, pure money that you made, do you think you made more money and more successful in North Little Rock or Little Rock?
Nothing come close to the 90s. And I was on there 7 Cameo was on there 7 years.
So
Ain't
North
nothing.
Little Rock was in the 90s. And I agree, the 90s, it seems like everybody had money
Everybody
in the 90s.
had money in the black community, and it wasn't good money, because it cost, I seen a lot of black young men murdered and killed.
So 90s
then.
is when the rock cocaine came. I mean,
That's when the
obviously
rock,
that's
actually
okay.
it really come in the 80s. I'm gonna tell you something. When I burned down in 84, people couldn't get in there. It's no way if you didn't get there about 11:30, you couldn't get in there, because it was a new club, and we did a lot of different things then, and you could even get in there. And when we got out in 1989, this a horrible thing happened in this city. Before then, they was primo. You know about the primo. They were putting the rocks with the weed.
Right, that's primo.
And the primo, they pretty survived that.
Okay.
But when they stopped doing straight
primo.
rocks, I seen horrible things happen.
So you're saying the drug took over. So back in the primo, that was something for people that don't understand.
They don't
career
understand what's
educating,
gonna
it's
happen
the
to you.
powder and weed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then what happened is our business took a nosedive. I mean, like 88, 89.
Right.
It took a nosedive, and you want to, where is it? It wasn't another club. The people were strung out on drugs, males and female. But I didn't see what was coming. They hadn't showed all this money that they were making then. In 92, I seen so many young men coming there, they couldn't get the money out of their pocket. And I was always asking people, I said,
what to get all this money?
Well, you get all this money because you threatened to put them out, put the police out. They said, we can get out. That's what they said, we can get out. But the found, I said, they said rocks. I said, what rocks? They explained to me.
You didn't know what a rock was.
I didn't know what a rock was.
Right.
They explained it to me what it was. But that's when all the money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where people made money off of that.
Before that happened is my business slowed down, probably down to 40%. And it wasn't competition. A lot of the business went out of business. A lot of small places went out of business. I was still in business, but we were suffering for finance. So I actually really called my landlord. You know, we had rebuilt the club and everything, and she had went to $1,400 a month. We used to pay $11.
Right.
I called up and I said, Miss Shelby,
that's the lady that owned the building.
I said, we can't pay that kind of money. She probably already knows. She probably driving by to seeing the business.
Yeah, suffering. Wasn't nobody coming.
Yeah, she said, JD, what you want to do? I said, we can't pay this. He said, how much you want to pay? I said, $600. She hollered, $600?
From $1,400 to $600.
She said, all right, JD. She said, I said, that ain't all. She said, what? I said, you know all them air conditioners we paid $20,000 for? And we were paying $1,200 a month for that. I said, we can't pay for that. She said, well, how much you owe? I said, $16,000. She said, I'll pay for it. She paid for the
air conditioning and
went to $600. And business picked back up in the 80s. I mean, say, what am I trying to do? It picked back up in the 90s.
90s, yeah.
And I called her. I said, Miss Shelby, we ready to pay. She said,
why you think, Jay, that she worked with you? Why you was you such a good tenant? Did you take care of the business? Why do you feel like she felt the need to work with you?
She said, I did everything that she said. And first thing she told me, my daddy told me not to sell the property. You know, but
it was passed to her from her father. Her father passed it down
to her. Her father owned almost everything down there on that street before he died. Okay. But anyway, we became good friends. You know, we became really good friends. And so when I could pay, I told her, but I couldn't pay for $1,100. She said, okay, that's good. This is way before the buyout and all this stuff. But we had a good working relationship, and I think she was very, very proud of me.
JD, let's talk about discipline. What do you think? What were your business standards give me a business standard that you refuse to compromise on?
One of the two things, especially when I came to
Little Rock Elevations. Okay.
We went to 25 and older. We didn't compromise.
You would not let young people in. When I say young people, you couldn't be under 25.
You couldn't be under 25. One of the reasons I did that, I didn't want that crowd to follow me into Little Rock.
So when you say Norfolk, one of the reasons why the people in North Little Rock hated on you is because you dealt with young people. It was, 18, 21 to get in your club?
We did 18 and older at Cameo.
So you know when you deal with our young people, sometimes you become a nuisance. You know, there are more fights. There's more. The younger your crowd is, the more liable you are, more problems you're going to have. So all those problems you had over in North Little Rock, they wanted to keep you out because they felt like you were going to bring that. Okay. So you changed it. You swapped it up and said 25 and up.
25 and up.
Did you have a dress code?
We had a strong dress code. We didn't compromise on that either. We didn't compromise on that. And I think it worked for us. I mean, day one, we did the same thing we did over there. When we started, we got overrun with people. And they dressed, you should have seen how those people dressed. I mean, they was really dressed up to what we asked them to do. That's what they did. And we got to the point where we was turning a lot of people away. We started selling clothes outside.
You're selling, so you had a dress code and you can buy the clothes that you need to wear outside.
Yeah, you couldn't, you had to have a collar. So we sold collar shirts outside. So you could take the shirt off you had and put that collar on, and you
So you would turn away, but you could purchase this.
you could purchase
this
that,
collar shirt.
This collar shirt. And we didn't do the tennis shoes. We didn't do anything. It lasts probably 8 or 9 years. And what happened to us on that discipline was, you remember the expensive tennis shoes?
Air Force One.
Yeah, all the tennis shoes. They were talking about they can go in this club with this thing. Then the jerseys. You remember the jerseys? The expensive jerseys?
Right.
And we got what we was turning maybe 80 or 90 people away.
So you had to compromise that.
We had to compromise that. But the people, all of the clubs talked against us because we didn't lie that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what happened to them when we started lying? Allowing the shoes and the t-shirts in, most of them closed.
When you started selling them shirts and letting them in.
Oh yeah, letting them in with the tennis shoes and the jersey. So we had got to that level, and then they didn't realize that hurt them.
Let me get to some of these comments. I don't know if this is your daughter, but she said, I heard that JD Lipscomb was the bartender at the club. What kind of, was she any good? Is that your daughter, JD?
Probably. Oh yeah, she was my wife when she was going to college. She bartended for us at a 50-yard line. She went and got a degree. She got a master's degree, but she came and helped me bartend.
Okay. Got Patricia Moreland saying R.I.P. Frank Johnson. Marquez Miller saying Sheer, the JD's a legend. Scott Hamilton is saying brilliant. Your daughter saw last question. What was the big and most expensive prize you ever gave away? I guess is your daughter's asking.
Biggest prize, probably the.
Did you give away a car one time?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I gave away 2 cars at one time. 2.
And that was around the ending of the year. Was it the ending of the year?
No.
What was it?
It was actually during the summer.
Okay.
When I was in North Little Rock, I gave away 4 cars away in North Little Rock. In
So-
Little Rock, I gave away 2 cars.
So
But
that was the biggest thing.
That was the biggest thing. And the thing that would made that so big is we call it a party night. We did that same way we did the lip sync. You come 5 weeks and you got tickets. If you buy drinks, you get tickets to win the car.
More tickets in there, you draw it, the better chance you have of winning.
Sharing some win in 5 weeks. And another thing we did, we called it a party Friday night, the night that we give the car away. We gave a lot of prizes away, and we did this thing for like a happy hour. It might be 2:00 at night. I have a stack of cards, and some of them said 10 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We had somebody to draw it. If it said 30 minutes, you could go to any one of the 3 bars and get half price drinks.
For that longer time, whatever they draw.
And we did that. And you got tickets. Every time you bought something, you got a ticket to win the car. So
Brilliant.
Nobody does that. You can buy an nice car. I call it like a girl's car. You know how the little cute cars?
Hondas and all of those. Yeah.
Cute cars. Buy them for cash.
Right.
Do a contest for 4 or 5 weeks. You can do that if you got a big place. It's hard for a little place to do it because you got to buy the car, then you got to do the advertising. So, but it's the kind of clubs I had, I could do whatever I wanted to do. We brought Houston. We gave Houston $1,800 to come down here to compete against us, and they could win another $1,800 if they wanted. And but you could do big things if you got your money. You got to get your money.
Right.
You can't come down there and work and let somebody else take the money home.
L. Rob is saying OG giving the knowledge. Jake Udell is saying we were selling a lot of shirts. LOL. Yeah. Marquez Miller is saying, but someone said motherfuckers would buy a collar shirt and still get turned away. So another thing that I remembered one of the stories that I always tell people is your club was so hot when people would get into fights, they would get suspended. And you had one of my friends, Jose Hopper, who would always get into situations, not always fights, but he would always have some BS going on. And I can remember back in the day that Jose wanted to get in your club so bad, he had to leave you $1,000
every time he
deposit.
Came. Yeah, Jose did on Kelly. You know Kelly from
North Little Rock.
Both of them, they got
Kelly
into it each other.
No, not Kelly Oaks. What is his name? Okay, so Kelly and Jose. Okay,
yeah, they always got into it, but it was like a death sentence if you couldn't come to Cameo.
Right.
Really, if you couldn't come there, I mean, people was crazy. Would actually be crazy. A lot of people used to try to buy their way back. I would never do that. But these guys was such regulars, and I didn't want their $1,000. I never took their $1,000 because they didn't act up. They gave me the $1,000. When they left, they come and got their money.
So they had to. So the $1,000 for a deposit. If they got into a fight or argument, they lost.
If they argue, they lose $1,000. They paid it every week.
They leave $1,000 at the door with you.
At the door every week.
And that was how they were able to get back in.
How they get back in. And we start taking pictures of people that cause problems because you usually be the same people.
Right.
And we take pictures of you and have it up at the door so we know who
can't let in.
But another thing that we did, I built that deck in Little Rock for two things. Number one, for smoking. We didn't like smoking in there.
But you could go outside on the deck.
You go out there. We built it for that reason. And you got two. After the second warning, we're going to put you out, take you to the police outside and put you out. And we did not, absolutely no. Same thing with a cigarette. You couldn't smoke the cigarette in there. Because when we was in North Little Rock, man, if you was there all night, you smell like, and you didn't have to smoke, you smell like it.
Because you could smoke in North Little Rock.
Yeah, you could smoke in there.
Okay.
But we changed all things. And another first thing that we did in 1990, we bought a metal detector, just like the airport. We made the news and everything. We made we wanted people to be safe. And we bought a metal detector where, you
could come in, party, had to go through the metal detector.
You had to go through that metal detector, and it was exactly like the one that they had at the airport. And we did that in the early 90s.
JD, when people call you the godfather of the nightlife industry, what does that title mean to you?
Well, I don't know exactly who come up with that.
Well, everybody calls you Jake, me, Tracy. Godfather is supposed to be the superior that has been around for the longest, that knows the most. So you got that nickname. You didn't ask for it. They gave you that nickname.
Like I said, I don't know who gave it to me.
But what does that mean to you when somebody think enough about you?
It kind of what I want to say is it kind of, I guess, remind me of what I did over all those years. And I think it was unique, but it became a part of my life. And I was one of those persons that always wanted to be in business. My wife could tell you, even when I was like 21 and 22, I told her I want to be in business. I had no idea. She was always like, what you want to do? What you want to do? I didn't know. It just happened. The guy, like I said, the guy that I talked to wanted to go in business when he just told me I should be in the club business.
And I didn't ask you, how did or why did you pick the club business, or did the club business pick you?
Well, the building that was next door, where I played pool, the building was a 50-yard line next door. It sit there for 10 or 15 years with nobody in it.
Okay.
And it was actually too big for a pool hall.
Okay.
And that's all I wanted.
You didn't want a club. You just wanted a pool hall.
I just wanted 4 pool tables in a pool hall. And that's exactly what I did when I went over there.
And you could sell food. Did you sell beer over there?
Beer,
okay,
food.
But you couldn't sell no alcohol.
No, I didn't sell any alcohol. And but I put I took a third of the building and made the 4 pool tables. And those 4 pool tables financed the club business.
What do you say, JD, to the people, the young people who have worked with you over the last 44 years? You have Jake Udale has worked with you for a while. You had Tracy Johnson that came on the platform. He talked about him working for you. You have Demetrius. He was your manager that works for Jake. He worked for you. You gave Deja Blue, one of his beginnings, some of the DJs.
Yeah, many DJs I got was the first. Even Broadway Joe. Broadway Joe worked for me. He was the first time he worked in a club. He worked for me.
What would the people that say about JD Lipscomb that have worked for you years, what would they say if I asked them, give me something that you can tell me about JD? What would they say about you?
Wow. Well, I can tell you I was firm, and I meant
that's what Tracy said. Tracy said you tried to teach Tracy the business. He said, and Tracy admitted, Tracy was on here probably a couple of months ago, and he said, listen, man, if I would have known what JD was trying to teach me at the beginning, he said, but hell, I was the shit then. He said he left and went and did his own thing. And and I said, Tracy, did you get out the business? He said, yeah, I got out the business, but I was forced out to the business because you told him if he wasn't going to work and be there, you believe that a partner should be at their business and they needed to work.
He had terms when he supposed to open. and I sent back Tracy to bartending school. I thought Tracy was going supposed to be me and Mac's way out.
You were supposed to hand the business your protege. You're supposed to hand it back to Tracy Johnson.
I talked to Joe's manager. He came to Little Rock to talk to me about buying in for Tracy.
Okay.
And I sit there and talk to him over an hour. He okayed it for Joe to do it.
Okay.
And Joe, what the deal was, Joe was going to buy it all in 2012. Me and Mac was going to retire. This was 2005.
Okay. So 7 years.
But Joe hadn't got all that money yet.
Okay.
And Tracy came in and he was humble and everything, willing to learn and everything. But Joe, I don't remember what year it was. Joe got $78 million.
I remember that.
When he got that $78 million, Tracy was the new man.
He said it too. He said it.
Well, I wasn't allowing it.
He said it. He said that. And you're not saying anything that Tracy didn't say on his own. He basically said that. But go ahead and finish your time. He was
the new man. And he even talked to me and said, JD, what do you think about the club on Markham? Will it work?
Ambience.
No, not Ambience. Was that what it was? That's the one on, I guess that was the one
on Markham, down the street from the police.
From the police department.
Yeah.
I said, Tracy, several people that tried to
been there
and didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said they didn't make it, but they went there.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, Tracy left. He didn't even come. He come out and got his money. Tracy owns 16%. So we were still rolling. So he had money coming. He didn't have no check. He got paid. Once he stopped coming, he didn't get a check, but he still got his money.
Ownership check.
He came and got it every week when we talked. And, but he told me he know he made a mistake.
Yeah, he said it. He said it.
He made a mistake for leaving. All he had to stay there 2012. Joe was going to buy it all. And Mac was going to go home. Tracy was going to have it all.
When we're talking about the retirement, but here's another question that I thought I asked. What has been your biggest night in the club business? What's the most money you made in one night in your 44 years?
Juvenile,
the rapper. And was it in Little Rock?
Little Rock. It was Elevation.
What do you remember? Was it a holiday?
It was a holiday.
Thanksgiving?
It was one of those holidays. I always did a show. Nobody still haven't picked that up. I always did some kind of show
on the holiday.
You probably remember. Y'all was down the street from us.
Right.
And we did something. Juvenile brought the biggest crowd ever. And I never will forget Juvenile because I ended up with a bad back from it. We had packed out. We probably had close to 1,000 people couldn't get in.
That you had to turn
and
away.
The traffic was bagged all the way to the university because people was trying to still get up there. And the car had broke down right out front. Nobody would move it. So I said, hold this door. I blocked the door, wouldn't let nobody else in. And I went down there and started pushing that car with some people, hurt my back. I've been having trouble with it ever since. So I never will forget that.
JD, are you retired now?
Oh yeah, I retired when Tracy bought me out.
JD, do you think that there's a chance that you'll get back in the club business?
No, he bought me out with a no compete.
Okay.
Which I had no intention of.
How long is the no compete?
For life.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm. About no compete. But I help a lot of people. You'd be surprised at how many people call me. They wanted me to come look at their building. They wanted me to do a floor plan for them.
Right.
I can do anything but go in business with them.
Right.
And about it. I mean, a lot of people that talk to me, they was thinking about going in business, and they would call me. And I had a lot of people try to get me to go in business and don't have my name out there. I said, no, I don't do nothing.
That's so you gave me your word.
Yeah, I gave my
Will Gilmore is saying Juvenile. He remembered that. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, we were talking about Jose. Jake is saying that was because he was banned. Keith over at YouTube is saying the name of the show was Putting on the Hits.
Yeah, we used to do that.
And then
that was the name of the show.
Putting on the Hits.
Yeah, did the lip sync stuff.
Okay, Putting on the Hits is what he said the name of it. Cassidy is saying it's true. Then Jake Udale is saying he's a true businessman. He stands for consistency, loyalty, rules and regulations, financially, economic. He's always say that it's easy to do wrong and hard to do right. Always take care of the business, and the business will take care of you.
That's a fact.
Is that what you've always told Jake?
Yep, that's what I always told him. Take care of that first. No, you got to. If you're making money, put you some money back to take care of yourself, because the business go first.
Scott Hamilton is saying, "Real businessman." Yes, sir. JD, obviously, you gave some of the secrets to tonight. Having a promotion, getting the word out, advertising, being consistent, taking care of the business first. Don't mess your money off.
No, don't do that.
Is there anything that we did not discuss that has helped you stay in business? Relationships. Everybody know, JD, how important is relationships in the club business?
Very well. You never get bigger than your people that come there.
Your customers.
I have a lot of women are huggy. I don't care how big, fat you was, or how I shouldn't even use the word ugly.
You hug them all.
You hug them all. You know what I mean? You didn't just say, "Oh no, I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
But I didn't do that. But I always told people, not just my partners in club business. I tell young people all the time, buy you a house.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest investment you're gonna ever make. Biggest investment in make. I made a lot of money in the club business, but I probably made close to as much money in houses. I built 2 houses and I bought 2 houses over the last 60 years. And I made money on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of money on all of them. And I tell young people, if you got a job and you can somehow buy your house, it's a great investment.
2 last questions and we're going to get out of here. How did you build trust in the community to keep people coming back generation after generation? How did you build the trust in JD that they knew that they were going to get what they paid for, they were going to have a good time? How were you able to sustain generation after generation? And I'm pretty sure, JD, some of the kids, you probably partied with their mother's party at your spot.
Their grandparents.
So you got generations after generations have patronized your club.
Well, basically, what I had, if you followed me over the years, I gave back. Them contests was giving back.
Right.
And I had something every single week. It wasn't no time where I said, well, I ain't gonna go 2 or 3 months. I ain't gonna do nothing. Every week that I was there, on one of those nights, I gave something back or did some kind. Some people say, I can't lip sync. I can't dance. I ain't got big legs. You know what I did?
What's that?
I did tic-tac-toe. Everybody can play tic-tac-toe.
Right.
And $200. You get up, we draw your name with a ticket. You get your name, you go up there and play that game. If you win, you got your $200.
So you always had a reason for them to come.
I had a reason for them to come. I gave back. Somebody gonna get something if they can.
Right.
I never just run every night. We open, we got a DJ,
right.
We got a kitchen, we got a discount. No, we gave something.
Last question, JD. You can answer this or you won't. This is a question that I think everybody that knows any club business, the rumor is, JD, you're probably one of the only club owners that made $1 million. JD, do you have $1 million?
Do I have $1 million?
$1 million. Are you worth over $1 million?
Oh,
Jack?
I don't have $1 million, but I'm worth way more than $1 million.
Yeah, God has blessed you to be, financially stable. So when you talk about financial literacy and making good decisions with your money, I think that's another one of the things that the people that are in your industry look up to you, because you've always made great financial decisions. Talking to you off camera, you told me that you and your wife bought into that early.
Yeah.
Being financially sound, not spending more than you bringing in. Yeah, you even told me that you didn't even get a car until the age of 23. Yeah. So how did you get back and forth to work?
Caught the bus.
So you had money, but you didn't buy a car until you was 23. You caught the bus where you needed to go.
I caught the bus. Back then, bus run every 15 minutes because most people didn't have a car. You'd be surprised what the bus did. And I'm talking about in the 60s. I graduated from high school in the 60s, 68 before I got a car. And, most people didn't have cars. My first car was a 53 Chevy, 1968 when I got it. And I'm more proud of that Chevy than I had all the cars that I had of that first Chevy that I could go out there and get in and drive to work or drive wherever I want to.
JD, I didn't mention your wife. You've been married for how many years?
60 years.
60
Be
years.
61 in September.
And then children. How many kids do you have?
I have 3. I had 4, but one of my daughters died.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Keith.
Keith is the oldest. He's
Okay.
60. Yeah.
What are the other 2 names?
Greg.
Greg. Okay.
He's 53.
Okay.
And Shayla is 49.
And do they live here in the city, or are they all out of town?
They're all out of town. Yeah, they're all out of town.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, JD, again, man, I want to thank you. When I started this, extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. There are so many people that are doing great things that people don't know their story. And so I definitely wanted to share your story. I think I've known you for probably 30 some years, ever since I think I might have started coming to your club when I was 18. So I've known you since then. You've always been a great businessman. You've always been a leader. You've always been someone that I could call and, get ideas from. You've always been very influential in our community. So I want to say to you publicly, thank you for being that. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being an example. I'm pretty sure you got Jake on here. We've had Tracy on here. All of these people, you've impacted their life somehow, some way or another. So thank you for being the person that you are. Thank you for being the entrepreneur. Thank you being a positive light for people that look like you and I. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I didn't see any successful business owners. I had to learn. My dad and my uncles, I didn't get that from them. I got that from people in the streets. So thank you for being a positive example for Black people that's trying to make it. Entrepreneurs, you showed us the way. You did it right. So thank you for sharing that gift with us tonight. Okay.
All right. I was glad to be here.
Before you get out of here, I want to do my closing statement, and then we're going to let you go. All right, Here we go, y'all. Man, 44 years in business where most people don't make it past 3. That's not luck. That's discipline. That's vision. That's resilient, and a whole lot of lessons paid for the hard way. Tonight wasn't just about clubs. It was about endurance. It was about understanding that behind every packed night, every sold out event, every legendary venue, there's pressure, there's risk, there's pain that people don't see. From the 50-yard line to elevation, JD Lipscomb didn't just build the nightlife. He helped shape a culture and leave a blueprint for longevity and really what it looks like. And if you didn't catch anything else tonight, catch this. Anybody can start, but very few can sustain. This is what legacy look like. We appreciate you tapping in with us tonight at the Unpacking the Baggage, where different voices, one conversation, and yeah, you already know, the best damn podcast in the world. Again, JD, I appreciate you, bro. I still see you every week, but for the people that don't know your life, that don't know your story, they heard it here. Thank you again for spending this Thursday evening with us. And any last words before we get out of here? Anything you want to say to the people that have supported you for this 44 years, people that have attended your club? Any last words you want to say to them?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that's listening in. And I definitely want to thank Jake, Tracy, Demetrius, and Mac. And, I was one of those persons that always had partners. I believed in partners because I know I couldn't do it
by
yourself. Myself. And I want to thank them if they listening. Thank you very much. And I'm so proud of Jake. Gigi's is what he's going on. And the devil tried on Tracy. He's got 2 places and he's working on another one. And I think these guys are still not even 60 years old. So I think they're going to do some great things in this city.
And both of those guys started with you. They got their teeth wet with you. Mm-hmm. So obviously you've impacted them in some way that they're having some success in their business today. Yeah.
And Demetrius he's up and coming. He's working on a place and he worked with me. And I think all 3 of these guys is going to do very well. Very, very well.
Good. Speaking of local business, if you want your local business to be a shout out on this podcast, we're doing that. All right. All you have to do is send us an email to utbpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us the name of your business. Tell us how long you've been in business. Tell us where you're located, and tell us what makes you different from any other local business. And we will shout you out for free. We call that the hustle highlight on this podcast. Again, y'all, thank you. Don't forget, next Wednesday, We're back on the schedule, regular schedule program. We're talking to director Ken Richardson from the Little Rock City Board right here next Wednesday, 7:30. And don't forget about Sunday. We got the Best Damn Podcast. We have the whole crew, Tristan Hobbs, Little Rock Princess, Anthony P, Candy Webb, and Jayla with the T, each and every Sunday night right here, 7 o'clock for the Best Damn Podcast in the world. We will see you this Sunday. All right. Like always, same bat time, same bat channel. Good night, y'all.
All right.
Had another rough conversation.